What are you, IMing him?
Yeah.
What a homo.
AirWreckRadio. Oh, it's so awful. You're going to love it.
Well, here they come again. They heard that things were happening. With mics in front of faces, their lips begin a flapping. They talk about world and local news reports, and even Steph Michaels, cause she's a doggy whore. Corey says,
Man, it's a goddamn joke. Corruption is abundant and the POTUS is a hoax.
Stacy says,
Man, I'd like to act, but Americans are lazier than most, that's fact.
So go get a bowl, a spoon, and some cereal, and sit your ass down. It's time for AirWreckRadio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and thank you for choosing AirWreckRadio. We'd like to apologize in advance if there's any inconvenience caused, but we're going down.
That's right. This is AirWreckRadio. It is the 15th day of, I don't know, what is it, October now?
Trucktober.
In the year 2013. It has got god awful. What is it, the 23rd episode now?
Got some phlegm in there, so you got a little schmegma in your throat.
Schmegma. Ooh, nice reference, sir.
That's that goop between your foreskin and
Yeah.
your cockhead.
Schmegma.
Yeah, kid. Now that we've officially grossed everybody out in way less time than usual, let's welcome him to the show. With silence.
Well, I'm trying to light my cigar, so fuck off.
Well, that's what you get for not having already done that.
I'm doing it Ronnie D style, baby.
I don't know what that means.
You don't need to know what that means. It's no good for you.
Good.
I don't know. We got something. I don't know. Well, I have I know you stuff. I could care less what the fuck happens.
Me too.
So we have a tremendous show planned for you,
folks. That was your show. I'm tired. Snoozing. See you, bye.
Episode 23 of AirWreckRadio is brought to you by Hideaway Brewery, broadcasting from the Hideaway Brewery studios. Fake radio doing fake reads for real beer.
Tonight's real beer is Molson Canadian.
Because somebody's a fucking liar.
I am not. There was
you told us last week
that in 2 weeks the beer would be ready. Now, that's still not true, but it wasn't going to be ready today anyway.
Piss off.
I'm already pissed. Thank you very much, sir. I do it before we start the show.
You know you're worthless, then, goddammit. Well, that's all right. I brought beer, so
yes.
We're covered.
I will drink it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will drink it.
I guess let's be square up with the people. We were square up with the people.
Yes. Corey smells better than usual today.
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
This
joke is dying.
Like a pretty good. Oh, it's dying for you, but it's great for me.
Yeah, for you, but the people on the radio are probably not going to think this is as much fun.
No, take a big whiff, radio listeners, internet radio listeners. Take a big. Tell me Corey doesn't smell like a girl today. He does, because I found girl perfume in a car and sprayed him with it first thing this morning. He doesn't think it's as funny as I do.
I don't fucking think it's funny at all.
I thought it was hilarious.
I was fucking terribly annoyed.
Facebook found it funny, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, they did. I terribly annoyed. Terribly.
Whatever. Hey, it will only happen every single time I find perfume in a car. So, I mean, you don't got to worry about it a whole bunch.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to take a page out of your book and escalate.
Oh, I think...
I'm going to go get a thing of stink bait.
What?
Going to go get a tub of stink bait.
That's kind of rough, dude. That's a little...
Well, if you're going to escalate.
If you really want to go to that level, you better buy a BB gun. Because that shit's going to escalate out of control real quick.
It could go with burn differential fluid. That's my personal
Ew.
favorite.
Oh, that's the worst smell. It's like dirty feet.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
Burn differential fluid is the worst. For people who don't know, differential fluid is the heavy lubricant that lubricates the physical gears in the drivetrain of your vehicle.
Most often it's replaced in your rear differential,
Yes.
aka your rear end. Rear end fluid smells like rear end.
Oh, God. It's
Bad.
ball sack bad, dude.
Bad.
Ball sack bad.
It's gross. Like the funkiest ball sack, probably. Like the worst you've ever, like, itched your balls and sniffed your hand afterwards. It's the worst it's ever been. And that's what a rear end smells like in a car.
Yeah. How long does mixed berry take?
17 days.
17 days.
17 days.
That's pretty short.
However, we're bottling late now because last night I was tired because somebody took me to a Bills game where I had a fantastic time.
And drink your balls off.
I drank, we went through most of a 30-pack.
Yeah, I sure did.
Between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And then, I'll tell you, I want to talk about the Bills game.
So talk about the Bills game. I had beer questions, but talk about the Bills game.
That shit gets like blacked out pretty often because people don't buy all the tickets. Those tickets were expensive. It was what, $180 for 2 tickets, was it?
160 for 2.
160. I was close. It was $80 for a ticket. So $80 gets you in the door. Hope you took a cab because it's at least another $15 to $25 to park.
Depends where you want to park.
I mean, you can park off stadium in somebody's front lawn for between $10 and $15.
And then 20.
I thought there was 20s. And then if you get to the stadium, you're looking at $25 to $40 parking.
Depending on vehicle.
That is fucking sane.
Well, then I'll count cars.
Insane. They need people to come to these shows. Or to these games. They need that.
Well, the big issue with that is if anybody has any better detail, then feel free to correct us on the website or the Facebook. But the town gets a lot of that. The city gets a big chunk of that because they give you so much money. They give them the land. They borrow the land. They lease the land, whatever.
Yeah.
They give them money. Give them the money to build the stadium so the team will be there.
Who does?
The city.
The city.
The city.
The city.
And then the parking and all that, the city get with the security on outside is police.
Wait, the city gives the land to who?
The stadium. They lease the land to the franchise.
The mega billionaire NFL?
Ralph Wilson. No,
owners?
Ralph Wilson. Yeah. The land's leased to them, for nothing. Still belongs to the city, but they use it. And your tax dollars built the stadium.
Later on, I have a terrific story about that, full of disgusting numbers that I really wanted to get into right now, but unfortunately, it's on my phone, and my phone is on the charger.
That's how that works. But for as far as the parking goes, and then the town gets a piece. All that money they make with their parking, the city gets a good.
Yes.
No, they get a good piece. That's where the incentive is.
All right.
For them.
If you took
that in tourism.
You know what? I'll point it out later because I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, and I hate to say just trust me for now. I'll have the numbers later. So
there's no trust.
Moving right along.
Well, me.
$9 beers. $9 beers.
That you kept going back for, you crazy bastard.
Goddamn right, motherfucker's thirsty.
Out of your mind.
Whatever. I was, it was a little good time Charlie got going. We had the 30-pack beforehand.
That is a warmer.
Obviously would know that I was ready to have some more if I've already had half of a 30-pack.
Dude, that was a warmer.
And I'm still awake, then it's time for more.
Yeah.
Great game, though.
Yeah, I think I said to you halfway through the fourth quarter that if they don't make it, if the Bengals make this third down conversion, I'm going back to the car to going back to the camper to get drunk.
Yeah.
And they didn't make the conversion.
No.
And then from that point on, it was a shootout, back and forth.
Overtime and all that.
Into
craziness.
overtime, and then loss for the field goal.
The loss sucks, but aside from the the Browns game last week that was insane. No, it was 2 weeks ago.
Hear more wonderful
2 weeks
details.
ago, the win.
Hear more wonderful details on Sports Wreck, AirWreck Radio Sports Show.
That's right.
What?
Make sure you check out Sports Wreck, where you will not hear me because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But 2 weeks ago, they had a win that was like
Neither do I. But
really
I'm doing
exciting.
it.
Oh, against the Ravens. It was 2 weeks ago against
Yes.
the Ravens. It was a really terrific win, and that was the game to have been at.
Mm-hmm.
That stadium must have been nuts because that stadium was pretty nuts anyways.
And it wasn't full, and we lost.
5,000 tickets, right?
Yeah, 5,000 short. Yeah,
Some-
5,500.
Some rich bastard bought 5,000 tickets so that people could watch it at home. And I'm not going to try to beat him up about that, but real quick.
Well, why would you beat him up about it? I don't think it's just totally his loss.
Oh, I'm sure is a huge benefit to him.
All he does is donate the tickets, whether they get used or not. It's not his problem.
Right. It's probably,
And then it's a
you're
tax
right. It's
write-off.
probably a tax write-off,
Yep.
a charitable donation. I'm not trying to beat a guy up over having done a nice thing. But real quick, let's do $80 a ticket times 5,000 tickets.
Okay.
Just for the fun of it.
Still don't see what your point is.
I'm getting there. That's $400,000.
Yeah. What's your point?
That is,
That's out of his pocket, though. It's his money. He
yeah,
can
well,
do what
he could
wants
have
with
paid 10 employees $40,000 for a year's labor.
Oh, he could have, but he didn't. It's just money. Come on. He's not a municipality. He's a private entity. He can do whatever he wants with his money. You could employ another person probably if you bought less beer, but fuck that. I'm not buying less beer. Sorry, it's my opinion on it. I'm sorry.
You're welcome to have your opinion.
That's just
All
my
right,
opinion
and it's
on
not
it.
an unwelcome opinion. It's not an untrue. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's his money to spend. In this economy, it seems a little silly to me that there's that kind of money floating around at the top end. That they're just like, $400,000, that's a tax write-off. I don't need to employ 10 people. He could have employed 20 people at minimum wage. And if he could throw that kind of money around, imagine how many teams are there in the NFL? Yeah, I don't know it. 50? No, not
Hold
even
on.
50. Do you know?
No, it's 32. 32.
You see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
You obviously disagree with me. I don't feel the need to beat the dead horse, but this is just one example.
I know a comic who's got 3 dead horse jokes. Okay?
You've heard them all. One every single night.
That's how he starts his set, with 3 dead horse jokes.
I heard that number and I thought, man, $400,000 just spent back into a very, very wealthy, a little abusive of their wealth league.
Ideologically, I get your point.
The NFL is a little abusive with the wealth that they have.
Oh, the NFL's ridiculous. Ideologically, I understand your point. I just, I think on the reality tip, I think I disagree with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've come to realize after a previous disagreement that we had that where you thought democracy is busted, and I would argue that capitalism is busted. And this is one example of why I like capitalism. I believe it probably works if you just, Canada makes it work and look pretty good doing it. I'm sure they have their skeletons in their closet, but our news reporters love to report on the skeletons they don't have.
Well, yeah, everything's greener on the other side, my friend. Grass
Well,
is greener on the other
have
side.
you been to Canada? Their grass is pretty green for like 2 months less than our grass.
Yeah. Right. I bet you if you went to the other side of that fence for a while, you'd start to see the green grass over here. You know what I'm saying?
I would
That's the
definitely
point of
be
the
like,
analogy.
you know what I miss about America, eh? Is the fact that I didn't have to say after every goddamn sentence, eh? Shit's getting ridiculous.
You know you don't have to say A after every fucking sentence.
I do. It's the only way people know I'm doing a Canadian accent. It's true. It's also how they
Were you in the
spelled
boot when
Canada.
the boot tipped over?
Huh?
Were you in the boot when the boot tipped over?
I was in the boot when the boot tipped over.
No, you bloody fool, you were in the water.
Ooh, that's a good Canadian joke. Eh? Speaking of Canada,
Let's not.
I had something. I didn't have anything. I was going to bitch about how the Bills play games in Canada that I fucking hate.
So why don't you talk about the London game then?
Who's playing in London?
They play every year. This year it was Pittsburgh, and I don't remember who else.
Oh, I hope it wasn't the Bills.
No, sure wasn't. It's already been.
I'll tell you, man. What a stupid idea. Hey, let's take the worst performing league team in the league for 10 years running and put them in another country and show them how awesome our football is.
Let's put them into another city that is virtually an American twin sister city.
Except with healthcare.
And try to...
And a functioning federal government.
And try to entice them to care about American football. Because if people start to fill the stands over there, guess what we can do if things go belly up here?
Well, I understand. Our billionaires were hedging their bets.
They want to move the team to fucking Toronto. They wanted to move the team to Toronto for 20 years.
Yeah. Fuck that. They already got...
The NFL, not Ralph Wilson. Ralph doesn't want to move.
Toronto's already got teams in like all the other big goddamn leagues. They got the Blue Jays in baseball, and they got the Maple Leafs in hockey. Now, not for nothing. I mean, I have no problem with Canadian teams playing.
That's why they're the sister twin city. You know,
fine with me.
Oh yeah, you don't forget Montreal too in both those.
Oh yeah, Montreal has the Canadians in hockey. Do they have the Blue Jays? No.
No, Montreal does. I believe it has a baseball team, but I don't know what it is. I might be wrong. They might not have a baseball team. Baseball's not my fucking sport.
Yeah, no. Especially not in October. I'm sorry. Trucktober.
Actually, this is the time it should be your sport. It's playoff time. This is one time, if you were into baseball, this is the time to be into baseball.
That is
playoff time.
A fine way to represent how much I'm not into baseball. There's playoffs going on right now. You know what? You're probably right, because I remember as a kid in school, I used to have to deal with like all the fucking baseball fans being like, oh, did you see that baseball game last night? It took like 16 hours. They hit the ball 4 times. Not so much a big fan of baseball.
Apparently. I'm not against baseball. It's just too slow for me to watch on television. I don't mind going to watch the game, in live.
I will go to any baseball game.
But on TV, I'm such an American and require instant gratification and constant stimulation. We got to pick the pace up here. Like NFL, actually, a lot of people, like soccer players, soccer fans from other countries observe the NFL as being very slow of sport. But we attribute it to be a very fast sport. Because what it is like soccer is a constant back and forth.
They're
back
always
and forth,
moving.
back
Yeah,
and forth.
there's no stoppage between plays.
NFL is a sudden burst of amazing speed and energy, and then nothing.
Yeah. All right, reset, do it again.
Yeah, and then reset and do it again. It's an interesting, different kind of sport that way.
I like football better than soccer, at least in part because of the reset and do it again.
Gridiron.
It's just tactical as shit. I'm sure that, soccer fans would be able to be like, no, soccer's just every bit as tactical, but it doesn't look like it to me. I don't know. I like football.
Soccer cannot be, I don't care what, and I told Bill, Coach Buck.
Oh, you blew the cover.
Oh, we do it all the time.
Pay no attention to the man behind the barbed curtain.
I call him Bill half the show. It doesn't matter.
You should get him a name tag or a mask or something.
I need to get him a headset so he learns to talk into a microphone.
Oh, yeah, that helps.
Oh, my God. Do I want to murder this son of a bitch with talking into his microphone?
You shouldn't murder any of your radio co-hosts. Because then
who
would run the board?
I get.
I learned this in a past episode of AirWreckRadio.
Guests I get. They don't get it. I understand. Okay? And it annoys me, but I get it. It's been a while now, Buck. It's been a while. Fucking talking to the microphone! Sorry, I'm calm.
Saddle, USA.
USA. Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Somebody sent me a thing that said silence is better than bullshit. Let's test that. Do you feel better?
I don't think it works on the radio quite as well.
No, you're probably right. Hey, did you hear Ariel Castro? There's evidence that suggests that he may have died from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, I heard. Cover up. That's the story.
I can't
believe
They
choked the shit out that bitch and then dropped his pants and said he was jerking off.
I can't believe that's what you go to with this. It's like they needed the cup. They had to cover it up.
No, but that's because the inmates didn't do it. The guards did it. That's the only thing that changed, in my opinion.
You think they beat him to death?
No, I think a guard walked behind him with a towel, choked him the fuck to death, dropped his pants, closed the door, walked the fuck away.
I like your story better, but I don't believe it.
Listen, it's been a week.
Why do you think?
I haven't even been able to sleep yet, let alone comfortable enough to jerk off where with the lights on and people can see me.
You think Ariel Castro has a problem beating off where people can see him?
I do think he has a problem hanging himself from the corner of the bedpost while he's beating off his second week in jail when people do rounds. Yeah, I do think he'd have a problem with that. I really do.
I'd like to take a minute, because I know you remember who Ariel Castro is.
Yes.
I'd like to just real quick
Good idea.
remind everybody who Ariel Castro is. This is somebody we've talked about several times on this show because he's the dirtiest human being on the planet. Ariel Castro is a man who had kidnapped 3 girls, kept them in his house, locked up for what was the time span of that? It was
10 years.
10 years, yeah. Recently, one of the girls escaped, and the authorities were alerted, and he was sent to jail forever and ever. Amen. One of the girls has a daughter by him. Sick fucking bastard. He was a bus driver that kidnapped 3 little girls. Kept them in his fucking basement in motorcycle helmets and duct tape until he was ready to screw them, and then had the audacity to, in his court case, say,
Whoa. I kidnapped them for sure. But the sex, totally.
It wasn't all. No, he didn't say none of it was
100%
rape.
consensual.
He said some of it was consensual. Well, listen, I'm pretty sure that you could get me to consent if you just held my food away from me long enough.
Yeah,
That's not exactly.
That's why it's called torture.
It's not exactly what we mean by consent. But anyway, he went to jail forever and ever and ever. He was there for 2 weeks.
14 days.
The psychiatric evaluators said
And
he showed no
accidentally
tendencies
died.
towards suicide, and he was found hung up in his cell with his pants down, and they think it might have been it's not conclusive. They think it might have been autoerotic asphyxiation, which you'll remember, I think David Carradine died of. Is that correct, David Carradine, the Highlander?
David Carradine was not the Highlander. He was
Kung Fu, yeah.
And I did not know that, actually.
I believe
Are you sure? I mean, is this like a Richard Gere gerbil thing?
No, because David Carradine is definitely dead from autoerotic asphyxiation. Well, I'm going to find out. Whatever. You're an asphyxiation hole. David.
Look it up. Hurry up. You're too slow.
Carradine dies.
Oh, fuck. Who was the Highlander's name, too? And I heard it today.
Jackie Chan.
No.
Kevin McLeod.
You're dick. There can be only one. I heard it on Ron and Fez, which is where the Ronnie B.
Yeah, David Carradine died.
The Ronnie B reference comes from.
Of accidental asphyxiation.
Accidental.
Autoerotic. He died.
Did it say autoerotic or did it say accidental?
No, he died from autoerotic asphyxiation. He died with a belt around his neck.
With his dick in his hand.
With his dick in his hand. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Just like Ariel Castro. Now, I'm going to say it again. I like your story better because I really like to think that somebody murdered this guy. I really, really, really would like to think.
I really think my logic holds here.
I was actually pretty good with him killing himself as long as it was because he felt bad and not because like he had a lifetime of jail to look forward to. I would hate to think imprisonment broke him. I would rather think guilt broke him. But I don't find it a far stretch to think that a sexual fucking deviant like this might fucking accidentally choke himself to death when he doesn't have 3 teenage girls tied up in his basement.
Not week 2. If after 6 years this happened, I'd be like, oh, well, that'll happen. Perbs are perbs.
Let's get him on the show and find out. We'll get a
Ouija board.
And
a medium.
We'll call the girls from
Paranormal
Investigator. That one. Yeah. We'll call them up. We'll get a Ouija board, and we'll see if we can't channel Ariel Castro.
We'll see if they know a medium. You know what? That actually might be fun to have on the show.
We could probably just
find a psychic
like it really happened.
Of course we could, but I thought we were going to get away from fucking doing radio. I thought that's a radio. Faking it's a radio. That's a radio bit.
Not if it's on a podcast. It's not.
We should get a fucking psychic in here just because neither one of us believe in that horse shit.
I don't not believe in it, actually.
I don't not believe in it either, so this should be fun, actually.
I believe in perpetual math, and that tells me that certain people must be, well, not must be, but it's probable that some people would be able to do the math better than me.
I believe in chemical transisting. Ever stand next to an FM radio and fuck up the band?
Yeah.
And
Ever
fuck up the signal?
Yeah, it's like when you're got your phone plugged into a speaker and you get a text message and it goes did.
Well, when a human being, a lot of times when you stand next to an FM radio, you'll screw up the freaking signal, or you'll grab the antenna, dunk, and become the antenna.
Yeah.
And you'll get great signal because you conduct electricity. You pick up a signal.
That's actually not chemical. That's not a result of chemistry. It's a result of electricity.
Chemistry is the study of matter. So.
Physics is the study of matter, I think.
No,
you know, we need
a
scientist.
Physics is the study of the rules of the universe. Chemistry is the study of matter. 100%.
You know who doesn't have a degree in any of the sciences? Either one of us.
I still know what the definitions are, you jerk off.
Oh, I think I do too. I think we're going to disagree here until we argue about it, and I think that's best avoided.
The reason why we pick up signal is because we are mostly water.
Yeah. Conductive.
Uh-huh. Which is a property of our chemical states.
I bet it's the iron in our blood.
Actually, the iron in your blood only actually a microscopic percentage of the total amount of
enough to
mass
make it
in your
red.
body.
It has an effect on the visual spectrum.
Absolutely does. And hemoglobin can't exist without iron, but it's actually less than a percentage. It's like 0.03% of your total mass is iron. It's a tiny trace element kind of percentage.
I'm not going to make people listen to me look up things anymore on this particular subject. I felt that it was worth it to find out if David Carradine choked himself to death while beating off.
Yeah, fair enough.
I do not feel like it's worth it to discuss exactly why the human body is conductive.
All right, with that,
it certainly has something to do with the water.
I need to take a piss. Take us to the break.
It's your takeout because you got to piss. I'm taking it out for you. That's gay.
God damn it! Will you at least hold it for me?
No.
Shake it?
Mm-mm.
None of it?
Not happening.
No.
Oh, what's that thing where you walk up behind somebody at a urinal? A Dutch helper? What the fuck is it? Where you like grab their arm while they're pissing and shake it around.
Okay, that's supposed to be the Dutch rudder.
That's it. Thank you. I'll Dutch rudder it for you. Folks, stick around when we come back. We got headline news and a bunch of other shit, and enjoy the show.
I got a ticket for this runaway train ride, headed away from the nervous bleeding in my brain. I feel away from the heavy, heavy load, but feel like I'm stranded on the side of the road. Get a little drink, get a little smoke, get a body, get a little bit high. Getting
thank you for listening. We want to take a moment to speak to you about a subject that I am sure is close to all of our hearts. All we are asking for is a few simple seconds of your day to save one of these poor creatures. Abused, neglected, and forgotten. It's simply disturbing. These pseudo broadcasters are left without anyone to interview or to create all their content for them. Let's face it, this job's a lot easier when someone else does all the heavy lifting. Please, take just a few seconds of your day to help these poor, neglected creatures by emailing them AirWreckRadio@gmail.com with your booking suggestions and feedback. Thank you for your time and compassion.
I tried to go clean from protesting, but I'm a recidivist. My government behaving with unlimited wickedness. In the interest of peace is how a liar wages war, then clamors for more. I wish we had elections every day. Wave the ballot in the air like a sign when I say democracy delivered by the bomb and the gun is terror elsewhere in the world I'm from.
Yeah, I got a delivery for Iraq here. Can Iraq sign for it? It's a large box of freedom. Sorry, I meant explosions. The freedom is back ordered.
Cheer for the once and for all of an enemy whose hand all man Dawn was on in 83, but who now exemplifies all evil. It's what you get for shaking hands with people who represent the vast and sinister interests of industry. We protect the free trade world, so don't dare try to stop us. We deliver them bullets and sell them their coffins.
Hello, U.S. Senate. Yeah, I have 100 copies of the Abu Ghraib Prisoners Gone Wild DVD. There's also your bonus Abu Ghraib Prisoners Gone Wild Totally Spring Break sign here.
And I wish that I could afford the ear of Bush II. I'd ask, is it your favorite philosopher who recommended invading and exterminating all who defy us? Crying out justice but seeking out triumphs. Wasn't your Christ unbeloved of empires? One nailed his ass to a post, he expired. A terrorist, as Roman evidence showed, put down like a retard on the death row. In Texas, I guess, tough luck, right George? Ain't that how every war gets scored? Big gun wins, winner gets a free turn. Enemy after enemy burns. Are you listening, sir? Or did your mind drift to the next country in your accent? To all the cool bomb drops you get to call. Delivery fresh from the Fourth Reich to y'all.
So last week at the end of the show, Corey and I had spoke about how many people lived in urban areas, and I made a guess that about 35% of the human population. Yeah, we did.
I was probably too drunk to remember.
It was a 3-day show.
We were drunk the whole time.
I heard it because I listened to the show, and I was like, I'm going to look that up for me later.
I'm a smart fucking guy. Holy shit.
I had guessed that 35% of the human population lived in cities, and I went on to say that I bet that was a light number, and I was right.
Yeah, it probably is.
It was significantly light. I wanted to know. I wanted to find out. I heard myself say a number. I was like, you know what? I want to know what the real number is, and I found it. I encourage everybody to do this when they hear a number.
Yeah, you might as well have the information.
Do a quick say, hey, you're listening to a podcast. You must be using a computer of some sort.
Yeah, it's not like you have to fucking go down to the library and look through the Dewey Decimal Card system and find a book that's 30 years old. You just freaking Google it and get last year's census result.
And I'm telling you right now, all of my news stories are no deeper than 2 or 3 Google headlines into the search that I
Google page 1.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely on the first page. For sure. I found out that 51% of humans live in urban areas. By 1990...
That makes sense. Did I argue with you? I might have argued with you. But it does make sense now that I'm not
I don't think you did.
Drunk. No, it makes sense.
51% now. In 90, it was less than 40%. By 2030, it's projected to be 60%. And by 2050, 70%.
Human beings want to live near each other. There's no question. Plus, it just makes more economic
Commerce,
sense.
It's, you cram a lot of poor people into a much tighter area.
Oh, yeah, there's also the ghettoing.
There's definitely some of that goes on.
I do use the hecky air quotes for ghettoing because the word's not used properly.
It doesn't really work. I mean, it's projected in your voice anyway, but just to make the air quotes doesn't really, because it's we don't have viewers.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because guys, this video is completely available using some kind of,
if you were a real wreckhead, you'd figure it out.
Yeah. There's drones. You could buy at Verizon. $200 will buy you a drone with a video camera. You could be video cameraing this right now. The laws are really loose on that kind of thing yet.
Because we haven't written them yet.
Well, they're working on it.
Yeah, sure are.
That's not part of today's news. What's that you say? News? Well,
What kind
folks,
of news?
it's time for everybody's favorite horticulture news. Horticulture news! To bring everybody up to speed, with us in the studio for horticulture news tonight is my wife, Tami.
I'm here.
Support staff and news girl for AirWreckRadio.com.
Yes.
And the chef.
And the chef
Yes.
for the food that you don't even get to see,
No,
taste, touch, hear, or smell.
I posted a picture of it tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, so
you
do
get to see it. All right,
Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah.
Is it a scratch and sniff?
They wish it was.
They do.
That's what she said. Ba-doom boom.
So, you may have noticed that horticulture news is the headline news of the evening because I found the most mind-blowing thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Blow it.
Have you ever heard of a tapedo?
Yeah, tomato.
No.
No. Tapedo.
Tapedo.
Oh, okay, a potato.
No, not a potato. Well, also a potato.
Yeah, all right.
Also a tomato.
Wait, when a tomato.
Or you could even
Oh,
say...
I got you. It's a potato and tomato farm.
Nope.
No?
It's very good. Way to play along, sir.
That's why it's called improv, sir.
Very nice.
Improv.
Very well played along. I was like, are you fucking stupid? And I was like, oh, wait. I asked him to play along.
Tapedo?
A tapedo is a plant that they've been working on for over a decade now. It's a plant that grows a potato root that springs a tomato stalk. So you get tomatoes and potatoes in one go.
Tomatoes and potatoes are coming down the
Oh, I
stairs.
like it. My mind went there too, but I'm glad you sang it because it made me feel validated. So, one single plant can grow you two different vegetables. Well, one tuber and one fruit, actually.
Yeah.
That you never eat together at the same time. I'd like to
Yet.
point out.
Yet.
I don't know. You can
Until
put
now.
potatoes in Mexican food.
Some people put tomatoes in their potato salad.
Really?
Yes.
Those people are what I would like to call
Strange.
weirdos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on board with you.
Yeah.
Keep
Unless they
your
want to
tomato-
send me some of their delicious potato salad, in which case I hope that they're not what I would like to call poisoners.
Where can we find such a
Murder.
plant?
On the internet, somewhere, in a place.
The nets
Order
of
it
web.
on the internet.
You can. It costs about $24 American. They've started selling it. About where to buy it. I don't know. They didn't give me any
Like
money.
a
So
clone or a seed or what are you
Like, can
buying?
you grow it?
you can grow it
You
in
can
your
buy it
garden.
to
So you're buying seeds.
I don't know. Do potatoes grow from seeds or from other
Potatoes are a seed.
I
Wait,
think they
really?
they grow from
You
other
plant
potatoes.
Potatoes the seed.
You
The
plant a
potato's the
potato.
seed.
So they would send you a potato and
Well,
a
at some
tomato will
point
come
you
out of
must have to plant a seed, because otherwise, where did the first potato come from?
Well, you're getting into a chicken and egg
Obviously,
thing
it was hatched.
because that's how
it. It was scrambled.
that's how that works. Is the potato falls off the plant and then decomposes and becomes the next potato plant. That's how they reproduce.
No, that's the tomato. Potatoes
Yeah.
are roots.
They just keep growing.
Oh
out
yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
No, potatoes are roots.
Potatoes are roots.
Yeah.
They're under the ground.
Yeah. Well, it's still the same thing. They're bulbs. Then they're not seeds. They're bulbs.
There you go. Bulbs.
Yeah, they're bulbs.
Right.
But
That's probably, this shows you how much we know about gardening, and that's why horticulture news is only ever going to happen very
once.
rarely. Very, very
when they
rarely.
cross-engineer a tomato-potato hybrid, that's what it's going to happen.
I say, what if they went one step further and they made a fruit salad tree? Well, sir and ma'am, I'd like to tell you they did. In fact, I'd more than like to tell you. I will tell you, and it will be true. They have a fruit salad tree.
Did they name it Stacy?
No, that's
No.
weird.
Fruit tree, Stacy. You know, fruit.
That's hurtful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, we have gay listeners, maybe. I don't know if we actually
They
do.
can probably smell your perfume.
Usually the gay ones are proud of being fruits. You know what I'm saying? It's usually
That's a generalization that I don't know that all of them would
it's
agree
usually
to.
it's usually heterosexuals that have a problem with the word fruit.
Man, I was talking about a tree that grows all kinds of fruit.
What kind of fruit
well,
does it grow?
I thought we were talking about Guatemalan cocksuckers.
That's what kind of fruit it grows.
Guatemalan cocksucker.
Tropical fruits.
That's a drink you can get.
That's a George Carlin joke.
Next time you go to the bar, I want you to order a Guatemalan cocksucker and see what they get. Just when they ask you what it is, be like, look it up.
A George Carlin joke.
The drink is, or
The Guatemalan cocksucker.
is a drink, or
It was a Dan Carlin joke. You show me a tropical fruit, and I'll show you a cocksucker from Guatemala.
I see. Obviously, he's not talking about pineapples,
Yeah, I know.
which are delicious. So that's it for horticulture news.
Horticulture news.
Let's move on to everybody's real favorite, headline news.
Yeah.
Headline news.
So before we got into the news tonight, we were talking about NFL games because we had just been to one, and we had paid exorbitant amounts of money to be entertained very well for a Sunday morning. I do not bitch about the value of the money I spent. I do, however, bitch about $9 beers and $25 parking.
Over and over and over again.
It's a little obscene. But I bitch about it if I go to a concert. I expect to pay the same thing, and I still think it's exorbitant then too. If you go to any kind of event, it's absurd the money you pay. So I found a story this week on Facebook that led me to theatlantic.com, who wrote an article called "How the NFL Fleeces Taxpayers." This was an article written by Greg Easterbrook.
What was the reference again? I'm sorry.
The Atlantic.
theatlantic.com.
.com.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Just want to get my facts in a row here.
So it's actually a pretty well written article. I was impressed at the fact that
fucking amazing.
I didn't get through the headline and be like, I can't believe these people don't know how to spell the.
It's not how the sentence should read. Keep your conjecturing bullshit out of this. This is a news story.
That's not. This was a story just plumb full of facts. They basically come down to it was a talk about all the money that taxpayers pay to have super duper rich people have teams in their cities.
So how right was I when I told you the terms? I said the land is leased for virtually nothing, if not nothing, and the stadium is virtually paid for by taxpayer dollars.
Oh, you understated by quite a margin. Let's see here. To quote one part of the story, the 49ers will pay Santa Clara $24.5 million annually in rent for 4 decades for their new stadium, which costs $1.3 billion and received directly $1.3 billion for the new San Francisco 49ers stadium. The public funding is officially $116 million, but if you just dig a little deeper into the story, I recommend you do it yourself. You will find that most of that stadium was paid for publicly.
Usually, most of them are, yeah.
Some of it was, $116 million is no small amount.
No.
And that's what was officially paid for publicly. So the 49ers will pay $24.5 million annually in rent for 4 decades, which makes the deal, from the team's standpoint, a 40-year loan, Boy, I hate when I don't know exactly how to pronounce a word because I don't know what it is. A 40-year loan amortized at less than 1% interest. At the time of the agreement, 30-year Treasury bonds were selling for 3%, meaning the Santa Clara contract values the NFL as a better risk than the United States government. Now, take that statement with a grain of thought, grain of salt, if you will, because Honestly, I think the NFL
We
is
have a
a
government?
lesser risk than the U.S. government.
Not at the moment, but
No, not right now.
generally, yes.
But 1%.
I usually take most of the things you say as a grain of thought.
Good.
So pretty much what you're saying is that the taxpayers of that city that the stadium is in, who's paying for the stadium in general?
That's
most of it.
That's one. Oh no, more than paying for it, they're getting absolutely. I mean, they're paying for it, and then the loan that the team is paying back, their rent contract
has no interest.
Has almost no interest. 1% is crazy.
It's just enough to call it a loan.
Yeah, pretty much.
They call it rent, actually. They don't actually call it a loan because it's not enough. It's rent.
Well, they don't charge me on my rent,
and
interest on my rent, thank God.
That's just one city. This article, which you can find at theatlantic.com/magazine/archive/20, just search on their page. Type in the NFL fleeces taxpayers, and you will find this article. I recommend you give it a read. I don't want to read the whole thing to you. It's a very long article with a lot of particulars. It says a lot of numbers about a lot of states.
Back to friggin' Googling it. Google it.
Google it, yeah.
Google it.
The Atlantic. How the NFL fleeces taxpayers. I was astounded and a little offended. More than a little.
You probably should be.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that I had no idea that taxpayers even paid for that. So.
Oh yeah. That's been a big controversy. As of late, especially.
We don't have enough. We don't have enough to pay for it.
That's the problem. That's why it's a problem as of late. When the money was piling out everybody's ears in the 90s, nobody gave a shit.
Sure, yeah. I mean, and why should they? But
now that nobody has any money, everyone's like, really?
And meanwhile, these people, these NFL higher-upsies, they got rich in those times because of us piling that. Like, not just because of us piling that money on, but they certainly did take advantage.
Yeah.
Still are.
So certainly still ours. Yeah.
So when they started.
Anything else?
On that one, no.
No.
We can move off of that story. That was the end of that one.
That's what my question was.
Yeah, that was gross.
Do you have another story? Or should we kick it to the AirWreck Radio News Corps?
I don't know. What do we got in the news?
Well, if you've ever heard of School Without Walls, right here in Rochester, Pleasant Street and North Clinton Corner. It used to be a great school. I grew up hearing great things about School Without Walls. Last year, they decided that it just wasn't worth keeping it open, so they closed it down. This year, they're putting $330,000 of renovations into the school. They must be reopening it. Right?
That's a ton of money.
They must be reopening that school. I was so excited when I heard about it because I know people that graduated from School Without Walls that probably wouldn't have graduated otherwise. And then I find out there are no plans to reopen the school. Right now, it's just a bus drop-off. And that's what the plans are for the next 5 years.
It's a $40 million bus stop.
Quote, we can't afford to keep that school open. Unfortunately, the children that went to that school will have to go to other schools. That was only 6 months ago.
I'm sorry, can you just take a step back and what was the value of the renovation?
The renovations that are going into that school starting in the spring are $330,000. And that is only the starting contract. Renovation contracts rarely stick to their budget. So it probably will be starting at $330,000 and creeping towards $400,000 of renovation.
So maybe my $40 million bus stop joke was a little out of line.
$300,000, still a significant amount of money. But you have a better perspective, I think, than I do or Corey does on this. Is that a lot of money for a renovation for a school?
That is a huge amount of money.
For a school? Is that
it's a huge... small school. It's a small school. This would be a renovation cost for a college.
A whole college?
For a whole college.
The whole college, not like one building?
Yes. And what they're saying is, the only defense that I've read, and I looked at 5 articles today, the work was included in the 2013 Capital Improvement Program, and the designs and approvals were in the works long before the decision to close the building. We have no more to say on the matter.
Wait, so they had already signed on the lines for the upgrades, and then they closed the school, and they still have to pay for the upgrades?
And when they were And then when they were asked why this renovation money couldn't be moved to something more productive, like new books or buses,
Well, there's less money in contractors for those things.
unfortunately, because it was slotted for that school, it can't be removed. Either they do the renovations for that school, this is how the rules work. Either they do the renovations for that school in particular, or they don't do them at all. They'll lose the money. So they're being grilled right now. The city of Rochester is being grilled.
So the city of Rochester chose,
to just
rather
renovate
than
the
lose
school.
the money, which they're losing anyway by dumping into a school nobody uses.
Right.
And stuff that by the time anybody can use it is going to be obsolete.
Absolutely, because when they're being grilled right now to come up with a plan to use the school when the renovations are finished.
Fuck
And
yeah.
they are sticking to the standpoint that they can't afford to run this school. Not then, not now, not in 5 years.
Well, here's my point of view. Maybe, and I don't know. I don't see the future. But if you're going to lose the money anyways, right? The $300,000 is gone.
Yes.
You already signed the contract. The contract's the contract can't breach. It's gone. Whatever. Maybe you're better off to sink the money into the building, remodel it, and try to sell the fucking thing for as much as you can to try to make back your $300,000.
That's not what they're doing.
I'm not certain that.
But we don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing at all.
Oh, we don't know, but I'd like to speculate back at you that they may just be losing the access to the money and not actually the money would still go to the contractors. Do we know that the money would still go to the contractors?
It wouldn't go to the contractor.
They might
Not
just
those
lose
particular
the
contractors.
funds. So basically, because the next guy up the line was going to give us the money, we might as well spend it.
It may be used in the future for housing students from other schools that are being renovated. It will be like a in-between point.
Waypoint.
A waypoint. It'll be a great school. All kinds of technology for students to sit and wait for their other renovation projects to be done in their schools.
This story pisses me off. I
It
want to know
pissed me
more
off.
about
The
it.
system pissed me off. Why can't this money be put into another school? That's what pissed me off. Why can't the money be put into another school? Period. You know how many schools need renovations and books and teachers?
Or if you're just not going to get the money, how about we just don't take them? Like, if this is a matter of give and take, if you're not going to get it because somebody's not going to give it to you, how about you just let them use it however they like to instead of giving it to you so that you can dump it into an empty building? I mean, Christ, you upgrade a school, well, that's good for 5 years, maybe 10.
Not even that long.
Especially these days where it's all like, you know, most of these upgrades are in the form of Wi-Fi and better lighting and things of that nature, tech stuff, right?
Well, it's getting better now. You can easily upgrade. Technology is getting easier to upgrade, so it isn't that like that, but it is
better to upgrade a building we're using.
right. That was my point.
That story sucks.
That's my pissy story.
That story makes me mad. Mad
it only
now.
pisses me off as much because I know the school and I know people that really made good on that school, and they closed it, and they could have closed a worse school.
How long ago did they close that school?
It closed
Last year?
Yeah.
That
It
sucks.
hasn't even been closed a year. Yep.
That sucks. That was school without walls?
Yep.
The shit doesn't even have walls they couldn't afford to keep it
I don't
up.
think that's true. I think that's just what they call it.
That's fucked up, man. It's not cool. You got anything else for that one?
Not at all.
You had mentioned a story that made me further believe in robot bees.
Oh, yeah. Some lady in Florida called a rodent protection program because she thought she had a little too many mice. And they went into her attic and found 20,000 bees, 17 squirrels, and tons of mice. And the squirrels and the mice were feeding on the honey. Yeah. Yeah, they're burning the house down.
That's yeah.
She never wants to live in the house again. She's burning it down and going into a retirement community. So if you think your life sucks today, go into this lady's attic.
At least she had the option to go into a retirement community.
Yes.
You know, like she could have been like, well, I don't have anywhere else to go. I guess I'll just live with the bees. My
like
garden looks great.
Kind of like this broad. She's like, fucking torch it.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, she's with me on the whole fuck bees.
But get this. They won't just burn it with the bees in there. They have to safely remove them all.
Yeah,
Because honeybees
are
very important
getting to the
our
point where they're
community.
almost endangered.
Yeah.
So
They are becoming an endangered
Yeah.
species quickly, and we cannot afford that to happen until we have better robot bees.
yes.
Yes. No yawning.
Too bad. We got anything else for the headlines, or does that pretty much wrap her up?
Yeah, I told you I had fucking nothing.
There's
I
a flesh-eating drug
nothing.
out there. It's called Krokodil.
You know what? Not new. Not new. It's just hitting the headlines now.
Yes.
Not new. It came out of Russia, and the
Yeah.
reason why it eats you from the inside out is the amount of solvents, acidic solvents that are inside of it.
Whoa. So you're telling me
It eats your flesh from the inside out.
Whoa. You're telling me that in Mother Russia,
Yes, Mother Russia.
Krokodil eats you from inside out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, crocodile here eats you from inside out. That's how tough Russian crocodile is.
Wow.
It's like this one.
Wow, man! I'll tell you what, the Russian crocodile won the Cold War. That's a badass motherfucker. He gets out inside you. He's like an alien chest buster. What the?
It costs 1/10 the price of heroin, but it's 3 times as effective.
At eating you from the inside
Yeah,
out,
apparently
or
that
at
too.
like getting like? Does this come with
You
a
get your
high
high.
before you
You get your
explode?
high.
Yo, all sorts
People-
of crazy high. I think I'm sure if you do it one time, and it's not going to eat you from the inside out. But when you become incredibly addicted to it and do it constantly for 5 years, then it eats you from the inside out.
And what is the cause of that? You knew. You said it was full of.
It's full of acidic. It's full of acidic
It's got
solvents
gasoline in it.
that they cut it with. So it's meth. It's like the heroin
It's really
version of
cheap.
meth.
It's
Yeah.
like 5-hour energy in Russia.
It's sort of. Well, it's like methamphetamines is like a totally synthetic speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a totally synthetic upper. This is exactly what this is. Where heroin is a downer, the world's best downer. This is a totally synthetic downer all the way, and it was fucking just as fucked up as meth is.
And it's called Krokodil?
Crocodile. Yeah.
Because
Crocodile or
patches of the
crocodile?
skin resemble a
something like that.
crocodile.
Well, I want to know, man. I want to try this stuff so I can get eaten from the inside out.
It's
Yeah, it
only-
takes all the
Wanna
moisture
get
out of
eaten
you.
From the inside.
It's only making headlines now because it's popping up in Chicago.
Yeah, that's why it's making
The only
headlines
reason
now. Yeah.
Because the U.S. is starting to fear this drug.
Next on News at 11, your kids are on a dangerous drug that will eat them from the inside out.
Well, it's better than
Stay
bath
tuned to
salts.
find out the details. Next, News at 11.
Better than bath salts. I mean, bath salts make you eat somebody else
From the outside in, yeah.
At least with Krokodil, your own self is eating yourself instead of like.
Kind of saw that joke and walked the path with you, friend.
The popularity of this drug can only last as long as the people that survive it.
When I read
Yeah,
this
exactly. And the 4 people will be like, "Oh, this is great," and that'll be the rest.
When I read this
That's
story,
fine.
I thought zombies.
Then again, if you thought about it, dude, people
It's
would have
like
said
cell
same.
zombies. It's like zombie
Yeah.
stomachs inside
think
of
they would-
functioning people.
I think they would look like zombies at one point.
You would have said that about meth, though.
They
You would
probably
really
look like
think
lepers or black plague survivor. Well,
Yeah.
not survivors, but
That's true. Yeah, they don't really survive.
black plague corpses, I guess.
Sufferers.
ring around the rosy.
Man,
Such a sad
I want to
song.
just draw a quick conclusion about tonight's headline news.
Sorry.
Tonight in the news, we thought that the government shutdown was depressing and we didn't want to talk about it anymore.
Pocket full of posies.
We moved from Russian crocodiles
Crocodile eat you from
that are
inside out.
completely fictional into the Black Death. I feel comfortable saying that was headline news. Hang out, hang out, and when we come back, we're gonna banter some more and take you guys on into some sassafras tea.
Ashes, ashes.
In the meantime, going into this break, I would like to ask Corey to do us a favor.
Yes, sir.
Corey, I found a guy. His name is Aaron O'Keefe. He's a music teacher of some sort.
Aaron O'Keefe. All right. All right. All right.
And,
is that a double A, Aaron?
Yes.
Okay.
And the kids that he teaches music have a video on YouTube in which they play Tool's 46 and 2.
Nice.
The video is terrific. Folks, Google search it, watch it on YouTube. Aaron O'Keefe, Tool 46 and 2. It will blow your mind. Corey, I'd like you to find that and play it for this song, for the break song here.
For this break song.
For this break song here. And I want to tell everybody that I am going to get in contact with Aaron O'Keefe because I want to talk to him on this show. He seems like he must be a horrific music teacher.
Do you know how to spell his last name?
O'_Keefe.
Yes, sir. That is also his YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think his YouTube channel. Perhaps he has a website too. I don't know. I'm gonna work on getting a hold of this guy because I'm very impressed by what he's got going on here.
Are you ready?
I am ready. Take us there.
2,574,101 views, 46 and 2 by Tool, covered by Aaron O'Keefe's music class.
I've been wallowing
everybody. It's time for girl news.
Hey, babe. What does 70-year-old pussy taste like?
I don't know. What?
Depends.
That was girl news.
Thank you for hanging out and checking us out on AirWreckRadio.
On the break, Corey and I were discussing what microphoning means to us and our personal differences and things like that. And it recalled me to the fact that I had come up with a terrific question that I had for you, Corey.
Okay. All right.
When you were a little bitty, Corey.
I don't think that ever happened.
What?
I was short, but I was
certainly
a little
bittier, Corey, than you currently are. What did you want to be when you grew up?
It's an interesting question to ask me personally.
Would you like me to sing the Jeopardy song while you compose your song? No. You compose an answer.
Oh, shit.
I will sing the Jeopardy song.
What is a pedophile? No.
Well, you have access to the dance.
Like when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a rock star. Like when I was like 5, 6 years old, I wanted to be a rock star.
A rock star?
No question.
Like glam? Like what was a rock star to you when you were a little kid?
Oh, the guys my dad watched.
Thundercats?
Which was Zeppelin.
Oh, all right. Like a rock star.
Yeah, I wanted to be a rock star.
Like a goddamn nylon pants wearing
a rock star. Freaking hair, the whole deal.
You went a long way from there.
Yeah.
So you got lost along the path. The rock star.
Oh, way off fucking rock star. I barely listen to music anymore.
How little do you think? Are we talking like
5, 6, 7 years old, like kindergarten? Yeah. I always just assumed I was going to go into the family business. I always just assumed that I would eventually, move into, the same position my pops was in, and and he took my grandfather's position. But that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's the question I'm asking. Obviously, you had a potential future laid out before
I feel I'm embarrassed even saying it because you already know it. It was radio.
Yeah,
I wanted to be in radio. I was even willing to not be I always wanted to be on air, of course. But I really looked into production because that's something I enjoy too. Is building audio and searching shit out, slicing stuff together. It's fun to me.
Is that what made you want to be a rock star? Was just that you were like the process? The process.
I think that's what I was talking to your wife earlier about musicals and what I like most about musicals because I love musicals. But I like most about musicals is I like watching the technical aspects, the lighting, the pyrotechnics, the stage setup, the hands moving in and out quickly. Costume changes, the
Yeah.
The building of it is incredible.
The
to
production.
Me. Yeah, the production value is incredible. Versus a movie which is more controllable. It's not live. It's not real time. Where a musical is live in real time. It's got to go. It's friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
and they never miss a beat.
It is really impressive
awesome.
to see a musical come together. I've been on stage crews in musicals. I've never actually performed in a musical, but I have been on stage performing. Where there was like stage crew things going on, and it is impressive the amount of planning that goes into something like that.
You go watch a professional Shakespearean performance, and you don't even see the stagehands.
I've never actually seen Shakespeare on a stage ever. You have?
Yes.
In school or
no? Professional off Broadway of Toronto.
Really?
Saw Hamlet.
Cool.
Yeah. I also saw Macbeth in Rochester.
I can never keep those two plays straight. Like, I know which one's Hamlet, but Macbeth, I'm pretty sure is just Hamlet.
Three witches. Toil, toil, boil in trouble.
Yeah, and then go kill your Uncle Thaddeus or whoever. Put on a performance about that.
And Romeo and Juliet, but that was a high school production. That wasn't my high school. That did very well, actually. Though I hate the way people portray Romeo and Juliet. I hate it. I can't stand it.
Did he have the big purple hat with like the feather and shit?
Mercutio. I think it was Mercutio's get up. Romeo's best friend.
It depends on whether you're watching it in a commercial or I think on a stage for real. I've never actually seen a real life performance of any Shakespeare, including Romeo and Juliet. In fact, the most real life, I've seen two versions of Romeo and Juliet. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio, which I thought was pretty awesome.
Ever after.
And then there was another one that was much older that they showed us in school. And it was not a stage thing, but it wasn't like a
They probably portrayed it properly.
It was pretty good.
Not an epic love story.
No, tragedy.
No, horrible tragedy.
Yeah.
That should break your heart to watch and
well,
listen to.
I mean, it's a little played out now.
Because it is epic history. It's played out because every high school production. I mean, there's a million. You read it in every high school class.
Oh, you read it in almost every script that doesn't that ends if
they redo it every 15 years.
If your hero and heroine die, it's based on Romeo and Juliet.
As a rule, yeah,
at least a little bit.
If the girl was about 13 years old and he was 18, might be Romeo and Juliet. Oh yeah, pointing that out. Sorry.
Yeah,
she was young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else was young? Edgar Allan Poe's first wife.
Oh, she was probably 8.
14.
He was 70.
He was not 70.
He was long dead by 70, wasn't he? The opium addict that he was?
I don't think many people in his era lived past 70.
I'm saying. And he was an opium addict.
I don't know how old he was when he died, but I'd know he wasn't 70 when his Annabelle Lee died.
Are you going to recite the poem now?
No.
All right, go ahead.
I have MC Lars to recite it for me, but I don't have his permission, and I would get his permission first. I could use MC Frontalot's permission through proxy. They're not the same person, but they are very tight. But I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, no, I said fuck on no FX because they're ass wipes.
That was one song, though.
Frontalot was totally like, yeah, go ahead. So I think you should give the MC Lars the, hey, Frontalot said, could we do the same thing with you?
I'm gonna reach out to. I'm gonna lay it out to people. I'm actually gonna make a note of it now so that I know it in the future. I'm gonna reach out to some larger guests, and one of them is MC Lars. I'm gonna reach out to. He's a hip hop artist that does. He has a whole album dedicated to Edgar Allan Poe poems. It's pretty interesting. If you'd like, I will share it with you. It's not all great. I'm not gonna lie. It's not all great, but I'm no hip hop judge. I judge comedy once ever. Makes me feel good to say that I'm a comedy judge.
I've done it twice.
Never judged hip-hop once. But he talks about, he does...
Between the two of us, we have 14 hours of comedy judging experience, thanks to Vinny Polino at the Joke Factory.
Oh, that's right.
Artie Fletcher's place.
If it's not too late, and I'm not sure that it's not, but I heard Second Prince plugging it on their show this week, so I thought I should plug it too. Get on the RochesterHomepage.net and vote.
I think tomorrow's last day.
Oh, good. If you're listening live, do this. Go to the thing. Vote for the stuff. If you're listening yesterday,
try it anyways. Try it anyways.
Try it. Write it in. Mail them.
Yes, mail it to him. Yes. Oh my God, with some flowers. It'll be great.
Oh my gosh, yes. Mail them flowers. That's a good idea. We should have been plugging that along the whole time. Oh, we should have had a mailing address and everything. We didn't, though.
I just came up with it. We'll remember it for next year.
We will have to remember it for next year because this will happen again.
Yeah, we'll have to crush them next year. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm only excited if we win, baby. We got to bring home the W. W.
Here's the way I was thinking about it.
That's either us or ROC podcast.
I bought into Vinny's line of bullshit. That
fucking Vinny.
I still don't agree with it, but if they win, I'm willing to agree with it then.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with it. I'm just willing to stick to my guns because, well, I'm a fucking troll.
The fact of the matter is, it's a vote for best podcast. We are a podcast.
And on the finals.
We did get nominated along with the Stuart Badasso Show and Second Prince, who are good friends of this show.
Yes.
And Rock City
we
Podcast.
Destroy.
Oh, I hope we destroy everybody. And Rock City Podcast, who we are associated with now. So here's the thing. Rock City Podcast probably has the best odds of winning here.
ROCpodcast.com.
I'm sorry, ROC Podcast. That's what I wanted to call it, was Rock City Podcast.
Yeah. ROCpodcast.com.
ROC Podcast has the best odds of winning this thing. But if we win, we win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they win, we win too.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I feel about it.
So vote for AirWreck Radio. Vote for ROC Podcasts. Vote for Second Prince. Vote for Stuart Badasso.
No, you know what?
Get out there and listen to the shows.
No. Vote for AirWreck Radio. Listen to the shows, absolutely. Vote for AirWreck Radio.
If you think any of them are better than this one, swallow your guff and vote for us.
If you think any of them are better than this one, swallow a bullet. Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing with yourself.
What if... I'm pretty sure the human body can pass a bullet. I'm not sure that's an effective means of delivering your message. I think if you just put a bullet in your mouth and swallowed, you could eventually poop out a bullet. Just hope that nobody punches you in the gut.
Not the mental image everybody got there, Captain Literal, but thanks for just, putting a knee right in the crotch of that joke.
Well, it only makes two jokes if you don't expound on the first joke directly. So...
You're an asshole.
You're the one telling people to shoot their fucking heads off. Jesus, I'm an asshole.
Yes.
I'm presenting people...
No, that's the last guy in the ballot. Stupid asshole.
Presenting people with a reasonable option to follow Corey's advice. If you don't like our show, take one bullet orally.
And then call me, and I'll be happy to come over there and punch you in the stomach. There you go. Call back to your joke. How do you like it?
So, you took a pretty militant stand on the Stuart Badasso show.
Uh-huh. And I didn't even get the stupid joke.
I know you were making a joke about it. I know that it was all, fun and games. But I actually, this morning, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give that show a listen.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Know thine enemy, sir.
I've listened to several of ROC podcasts now, and I listen regularly to Second Prince podcast. I'm roughly a weekly listener. I really enjoy their show. I listened to the Stuart Badasso show today, and I found it quite entertaining. I did. I'm not gonna dress it up. I'm not gonna beat him. I'm not gonna plug him super big. But I did find that it was a very nice show with a nice cast of characters, including one guy who sounds Canadian, and I certainly have found that I enjoy listening to Canadian people talk on podcasts.
Listen, pal, our new friend who lets me hang out with him and his comedian friends says he's an asshole.
That's
so
between
he's a
him and them.
Asshole.
That's the name of his show. There's nobody on that show that answers to that name, though. That's just the name of their show. So, Our one friend is welcome to think what he thinks, and you're welcome to think what you think, and our listeners are welcome to think what they think. I listened to the show. I thought it was all right.
You're welcome to lick my balls.
Whatever. Still vote for Vinny Paulino as best comedian.
Oh, yeah.
And vote for Rock Podcasts for best website.
Yeah, I'll give you Rock Podcast, ROCpodcast.com.
And definitely still vote for
Best
AirWreck
website,
Radio as
AirWreck
best
Radio.
podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we beat this plug into the ground?
Every one of the podcasts that's featured on that is a respectable, good show. I definitely enjoyed listening to every single thing I've heard from ROC Podcast, which is like, what, 12?
How many,
12 shows in ours.
Yeah.
Did they get
more now? No, they just signed a bunch of new shows, too.
All right.
We're getting pretty big here, ROCpodcast.com.
That's cool. That's good. It's nice to have.
Content is king.
A big attachment. I mean, one day you'll be able to just tune into ROC Podcasts and listen to everybody's show once a week.
Absolutely.
And have a whole...
You go to ROCpodcast.com, listen to everybody's show right now.
No, but I mean, like, have it be like your playlist and no repeats.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction that they're trying to go in.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be our own station.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get an FM dial. I don't know how that's going to happen. None of us has that kind of money or connections.
The FM dial issue, not a problem. We can get an FM band for relatively inexpensive.
Well, why haven't we done that?
The broadcasting towers, the transmitter, is the problem.
Oh, I see. They would give us a channel, but no.
We could pay for the 101.3. You know what I mean? W.
Isn't that warm?
ARK. Oh, yeah, 1.3.
It's a terrible number to
and
make.
I just happened to be one.
A station.
And it would be higher than that. It'd probably be 107.9.
WAWR.
107. Yeah. WAWR. Yeah, we're in New York, so it's a W.
Yeah. WAWR.
We're in Western New York, so it's a W. Go to New York City, they're all Ks.
We could get old school jimey things. It'd be like AirWreck Radio.
I was thinking about doing that, actually, buying some.
Bringing you the beats from the 70s.
Jingles.
Yeah.
They're called jingles.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about buying some, actually. A couple sound pads, a couple jingles.
Buy the one, that old Pepsi ad. I want to be like Mike. That was Nike, actually. Whatever.
Was it? So is Bo Nose.
Bo Nose. Do you remember that cartoon about Bo Nose?
A cartoon about Bo?
You don't remember the
Bo Jackson had a cartoon?
He did.
Oh my God.
He definitely had a cartoon.
No idea.
It was on right around the same time as the Back to the Future cartoon. So basically what they did was they were like, here's two shitty cartoons we're going to plug an hour with. It was not a great time for anybody.
Oh, I wish I had that time in my life back. They owe me those minutes.
I was so disappointed by that Back to the Future cartoon, too. Do you remember that one? No? Good. You're not missing anything. It was terrible.
No, I sure don't.
It's horrible. Speaking of Saturday morning cartoons, you remember Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Only every third or fourth memory of my life.
Yeah.
You know, I was a huge Power Rangers guy.
When that show
I was right in that niche range.
That show was not actually a cartoon, but it was on Cartoon Time.
It was nowhere near a cartoon. That was live action.
It was actually right next to a cartoon. Eek the Cat and then Mighty Morphing Power Rangers. Remember Eek the Cat? That show sucked, but it was on before Power Rangers, so you watched it. It was what they put on. If it wasn't that, it was Terrible Thunder Lizards, which was a spin-off off of the Eek the Cat show, or Bobby's World.
Yeah, Bobby's World.
Ugh. Howie Mandel did not make a terrific cartoon.
Howie Mandel didn't really make a terrific stand-up.
I'm not.
He did it right. I'm picking. He did it right. He was pretty funny, actually.
I mean,
the problem with Howie Mandel is he had the same bit for 20 years.
He's pretty good at being Lex Luthor on that America's Talent show.
Not Lex Luthor.
Are you sure? He's got the haircut.
Yeah, he does have the haircut. No, he's got an OCD thing. He's got an OCD thing. And
Doctor said I had OCD too, and I said you put that Ritalin right up your ass.
And you put the letters in the wrong order. No, nothing. CDO, no. Okay.
What's CDO?
OCD. But you put the letters in the wrong order.
That's
CDO.
That's dyslexia.
No, OCD. It upset. Oh my God, I can't. Apparently the joke sucked.
I guess so.
The person,
sorry, it might
the
have.
OCD person didn't like the mismatched orders of the number of the letters.
They were in
OCD
the right order.
is not in alphabetical order.
Oh, I see. Alphabetical
CDO.
order. I got you. Right
yeah.
equals alphabetical because
Yeah.
they have obsessive compulsive.
Yeah.
What a sweeping generalization.
horrible
that is.
fucking
That's
joke
racist,
that was.
You just said
Racist?
against OCD people.
I didn't realize that was a race.
What you mean, you people?
Use a cockhole.
Anyway,
Mighty Morphin Power
Mighty
Rangers.
Morphin Power Rangers. I frequent the Chive now.
It's
thanks to-
morphin' time.
You're goddamn right it is. That show is so cheesy. It was so awful. It's so like, what was up? How come when the Megazord combined initially, it always combined into this stupid tank form?
Yeah, then it had to then transform
Then it
from
had to
there.
stand up.
Okay, the reason why that is because the Megazord could take multiple forms. The tank form was a different form of battle form than the standing up Megazord was.
Did it ever win one fight in tank mode?
Maybe one in the beginning.
I'll give you a maybe one.
In the beginning, in the first season, the Zords used to be able to win fights without be turning into the Megazord.
I don't recall ever seeing a single Zord win a fight against a man in a monster costume.
I would like to point out, by the way, it's been 15 years since the show's been on the air, and it's still on the air in its 900th cognation of it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Special effects, no better.
Same show.
Not one lick better. It's the same show.
You know what, though? They're making it for the same audience. So, it didn't really have to grow up with you. If you wanted it to grow up with you, see that Pacific Rim movie. That was pretty much Power Rangers for grown-ups. I haven't seen it yet, but that's what I heard about.
There were Power Rangers movies. Screw you. That was Power Rangers for grown-ups.
The Power Rangers movie was not actually a bad movie.
No,
for a Power Rangers movie.
That movie sucked, dude.
What?
Oh my god.
Why? It sucked more than any other episode, or sucked?
Oh no, okay, I'll give you that much.
The Beavis and Butthead movie sucked as a movie, but it was still
a 2-hour-long
as
episode
good
of
as every episode of Beavis and Butthead.
I guess I'll give you that. I guess I'll give you that fair comparison.
I'm just saying, you get what you get. I went and saw He-Man, and that sucked compared to any episode of He-Man.
I have the power!
That movie sucked. You remember the He-Man Masters of the Universe
By
movie?
the power of Grayskull.
No, that was the cartoon. The movie was live action and fucking awful.
Was there a He-Man movie live action?
Have you never seen this piece
I don't
of garbage?
think I have.
Oh my god. You, sir, need to see Masters of the Universe, the live action movie. It is the worst thing. And
boy.
As a little boy, I knew this was an awful movie. You've seen the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yes.
Worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a shit movie, too.
It was so bad. It had nothing to do with He-Man, except that Skeletor was in it, and apparently He-Man was in it too, I guess.
For a second.
It was horrible. It took place on Earth.
Okay.
In the 80s.
Oh, well, that's when it was filmed. I'm assuming.
No. That's when it took place. Like, Titanic was filmed in the 2000s, 98, 97, I don't know.
Whatever.
But it took place in the 38.
In a long time ago. But the 38 era. But when was this movie made?
The 80s.
Okay, so what I said was still right.
Sure, yes, but the sad part was that it also took place in the 80s. Like, it was the dumbest fucking piece
They should have
of
went future in time. This way they could have said, suspension of disbelief.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
So
Shit.
bad.
Why are we talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Because I was on the Chive today and I saw New York City Comic-Con costumes, and there was a awesome Rita Repulsa and Green Ranger. Now, I mean, Green Ranger is a pretty easy costume. If you have the money for the helmet, you pretty much...
Yeah, it's the helmet's the big deal
Yeah.
with the Green Ranger.
You're pretty much all set.
You got to
there.
be the original Tommy Ranger.
Rita Repulsa costume?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Was terrific. It was. She had the staff, and the fucking makeup was right.
Where was Zed?
What, the head? Was he the head guy?
Zed was the guy who replaced Rita.
Oh, Lord Zed. Yeah.
Lord Zed.
That
he was the guy with no skin.
That was a little... Oh, I do remember him. Yeah. He came out in the movie.
Yeah.
I do remember
he banished Rita to a hole in the ground.
Yeah, where
and then
she
she got out eventually.
In a hole in the ground to begin with. So I mean, obviously, this form of punishment for Rita Repulsa not the most effective.
Yeah.
But it's Power Rangers. They don't.
There's the New York Comic Con.
That was at New York City Comic Con.
Do you know what I heard about the New York City Comic Con?
That it was the most awesomest Comic Con in the world.
No, I heard it was the second most awesome Comic Con in the world.
Right after what?
San Diego, which is the big Comic Con.
I really thought that you were going to go with like a Rock Con plug.
Oh no.
Good. Because it would have been a horrible lie and a plug for somebody who.
I'm sorry. I thought I was being. If we had affiliation with them, I probably would have shoved that in there.
Sure.
But no, San Diego's the big Comic Con. That's the Comic Con.
That's the Comic Con.
I heard Stallone. See, I talk like him now too. Sylvester Stallone.
Hey, Rock, you got any brain damage?
I don't see any. Was signing autographs for $395 a piece and sold out of shit to autograph.
Are you fucking what?
Not only was it $395 for an autograph, if you had certain items, it added price to it. If you had like boxing gloves, it was like another $30 or whatever. A copy of the Rocky movies was another $20 or whatever. I don't know that the edition numbers are correct. I do know that 395 is correct.
That's a silly. What a silly amount to like. You're gonna. What are you? Hey Sly, you got change for a fucking $400 bill? I'm running out of fives here. I don't know.
Hey Rock, you got a $5 bill?
Was there tax on that?
I don't know that question. I would imagine so. It was in New York, baby. Not only was there, it was in New York. Not only was there New York state tax, there was New York county tax.
So Sylvester Stallone, a man whose net worth, according to Forbes, is $275 million.
Well, I'm sure he wasn't making the whole 400. I'm sure that was some corporate gig, and he was making,
yeah, for Stallone,
$20-$30 a piece
for Stallone Corp.
No, I bet you somebody sponsored him to come in, and that's how they do that.
I don't know if he's making.
They paid for his hotel arrangements. They paid for his flights in. They paid for his meals. He signs autographs, makes $50 an autograph. They make $350 an autograph.
Either way, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
$400.
It's gonna set a precedent, dude. Now these freaking poor geeks who go to these Comic Cons. Sorry, guys. I wish I could have came this year.
I don't know that the poor geeks are going to be able to continue to go.
That's what the problem is. Now every asshole who was ever in a hit movie who goes to these Comic Cons to scrape up a couple of dollars.
Oh my God! Next year they'll have the whole cast of the Expendables.
Exactly, $400.
Yeah.
Screw.
It's just like the NFL. All right, folks. On that note, I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank everybody who voted for us for the Rochester's Best of this year. That it's super awesome that we were even nominated. If we win, it'd be even more awesome. But even if that we don't, it doesn't matter. What an awesome experience this is making the radio show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Now wouldn't you know it? There goes the phone again. It's probably just another wrong number, but someone tried to sell me something I can't even see. Well, I got the solution. How to deal with this insanity. Just sit down in my easy chair and take a big sip of my sassafras tea.
I'd like to extend a very special thanks to Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com, freesounds.org, Audacity Software, GIMP graphic editors, all our band friends, our guests tonight, my dear friend Stacy, and all you, our loyal listeners.
It's getting near evening, the sun going down. I guess I should shake a leg, climb in my car and roll downtown. Check out the city lights, all decked out in a tux and a tie. But I'm sitting in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea. Now wouldn't you know it, got the solution. I know how to set him free. Set him down in my easy chair and give him a sip of my sassafras tea.